Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream, welcome to another video. Part 6 of building the ROKAF F-4D Phantom, this guy here, but turning it from the Tamiya kit. The Tamiya kit right here, right there, that one is going to become this one. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're doing the Academy kit and the Tamiya kit. We're doing a comparison. If you've been watching so far, then you already know that. But if you decided to click on this video just out of curiosity to see what's going on, well, there's your explanation, okay? Alright, so let's get going. Last time, we're working on the engines, we're working on the landing gear bays for the Academy kit, doing the upper and lower halves of the engine tubes. As I said last time, we are painted the inside of them with a cockpit green, as it calls out in the instructions, and we're going to put our two halves together just like that. So let's get started on that. We put those together. Changing my glasses, but I don't really need to for this. Now, one thing they do say in the instructions, it's literally two of the exact same piece. We have two sprues that are the same, identical, right? But on one of these, they want you to cut the little arms off. Okay, so that's what I've done on this guy here. See, a little bit different. Yeah, so, and it's up to you which one you're going to do. It doesn't really matter. It's just in the instructions when you're putting it in the fuselage, it's the lower one that's going to have the arms cut off. That's the only difference. So let's glue these two together. So nice glue in the middle there and glue on the edge. Be as sloppy as you like with these because it's inside and ain't nobody gonna see nothing, so that's kind of nice. Okay, those are together. I gotta put the, what do they call these, the flamer, I can't remember what that's called, on the engines. So I've done the one already, so we'll do this one. Remember, I had marked them. Let me change the camera here for you here. Change the camera for you here. I had marked a little mark on there so I know which way to line them up, and that lines up perfect just like that. So grab some extra thin just so it's a little easier. Here we go. Run on in there. That will be more than enough for that guy there. Okay, now, because the Tamiya kit, change here, because the Tamiya kit does have a lot more parts than the Academy kit, I need to do a little bit of focus on assembling the Tamiya kit a little bit more, and so we actually need to backtrack a little bit. We've been doing we've got the cockpit assembled, all the cockpit pieces, and we got the front landing gear bay assembled. We've got that glued to it, to the cockpit, and then we started working on the engines, and we got the two halves assembled. Okay, it's now time to make the two fuselage halves together, but we need to go backtrack and go to step number 2 and 3. Okay, because there's some parts that need to be glued onto the fuselages before we actually put it all together. Okay, so let's take our cockpit out of it for now. So we've got things like the refueling door, right? I've already glued this part in. Remember, I think it was part 1. I was curious why they decided to make this a separate piece while this piece is not. Somebody did put a comment that the refueling door is different on the B than on the D, I guess, which is actually apparent looking at the fuselage for the Academy kit. It has the refueling nozzle up here on the top. So that is a interesting little tidbit. But we've got a couple of pieces that need to go in on the sides. Like there's a piece that goes here, and on here we put part of the engine, I don't know, cowling I guess it's called. That's got to go on. So let's get this done. So we need our N tree. We want N8 to cover this. I'm not going to bother doing N7, which would expose the fuel door. I don't like doing that. There's nozzles sticking out there. There's almost never, like when the airplane's on the ground, the nozzle's almost never out, right? So unless they're actually doing some kind of maintenance on it for some reason, but it's never really out. So let's find our entry. There's our D's, double D's, right? As I mentioned, we got two sprues that are exact same. The D sprue. Here's what I meant. The fuselage on the Academy kit has the hole here, right? So anyway, we wanted N. Here's N. Here is N. So we've got N 8 and 9. It's kind of interesting. Oh, 9 is going to be for the actual nozzle, which is right here. But anyway, we want N8. So let me change here. N8 right here. Okay. And we're going to clean this up. Maybe I don't want N8. Well, maybe I do. It goes in from the back. Like this. It fits in nice and flush. Just like that. You can tell the difference with the, it's got primer on it. So, let's get that glued in, just like that, and we're good. And of course, typical Tamiya finish, that is perfectly flush and smooth. Cannot complain about that at all. Now, we need L2. L2 is going to go on the front right here. So, let's get rid of our N tree and find our L. Here's what's left on our L tree, just these three little parts. So I need L2. That should be good. Take a sip of my tea here. Okay, L2. Drops down in there for a nice, perfect flush finish. This one, I'll use this. And a little dab there, a little dab there. Just drop that in. Again, perfectly flush. You're never going to know that that was a separate piece. Now we need to get J2. Why J2? J2 is going to go in that little hole right there. It looks like it might be a clear piece, which means I don't want to put that on right now. Is this actually the J tree? Oh, that's R. This is the J tree here. With my parts kind of stuck to it. I can unhook that somehow. There we go. J2, tiny little oval piece that's supposed to be painted clear red. So I'm going to leave this off for now. We will wait till the plane is all painted up nice before I do that. Okay, so that's this half. Next, we go to step number 3. We're going to put L3 back here. And while I'm looking at it, I see we need L4 for the other side back here somewhere. So I might as well take L4 off of here, and then I won't need this sprue at all. It'll be finished. So I can cut this up, make it a little bit smaller in my garbage bucket. Okay. Again, I probably don't have to test fit. So this time I can just go like this from in here with this hole that they have provided me with. And that'll hold it right there. Perfect. Okay. Now, we need M7 to go here. M7. There's our M. There's N and D, R, B. Here's our M. So M7 is this piece. Pardon my frog in my throat. M7. We're going to need M6 for the other side, so I might as well take that off too. Okay. Might as well, since I know I'm going to need it just in a minute or two. Might as well, right? Why not? Okay. So this piece goes on back here. Got a little bit of a nub to clean up here. Oh, it fits in there like precisely. All right. Very nice. And again, you'd never really know. There's a very, very, very slight lip, but I mean, wow. Very nice. This side I actually used, this piece I used a little too much glue, and it actually came out and onto my finger, and I got a bit of a rough spot now where my finger was holding it for that, even just that brief moment. I just want to take a little bit, I want to take my 4000 grit just to, you can see how it's getting in there, get rid of my fingerprint mark, just that little bit. That's much better. Fixed. Alright, it looks like that is it for this side. No more little bits to go on. Okay, so we'll put that over here. And we'll work on this side. We need R8 for the front here, but since I already have these out and ready to go, I know what sections I need to clean. It's a very nice, precise fit. Like there's no play, no slop at all. just fits. Like it just fits. Perfectly. Like this side's even better. I can't feel it at all. That's fantastic. And now I noticed a little bit of glue I need to put in here. Okay. And then we have this little piece going to go right in here. There's little pieces like this that make me wonder, like, why did they decide to make you put this piece on? Is this some kind of access panel for some kind of maintenance that they have to do, and then they're giving you the option of having the panel displayed open? I don't know. I'm not a huge F4 guy. I mean, I'm a huge guy, but yeah, that's a whole different thing. Now to the R tree, we need R8, which is this guy right here. That guy right there. It's going to go right here. It's a big panel. Again, fits in absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfect. There we go. Okay, so I believe that is all. We've got the little interior guy that goes right there. Q4. They want me to put some decals on already, depending on what style I'm building it, but obviously decals aren't going on now, so I'm not doing that. So I'll just have to refer back to this page when that time comes. So that's it. Now we've got these done. Okay, so now we can move on 2 pages over. Flip this over, and we can put our fuselage halves together. So we need our cockpit. Aligns these, peg this thing and this thing, and that goes in that hole, that little slot, and that hole, and that's where it goes. Bing, just like that. Perfect fit. Absolute flawlessness. So, glue, glue, and glue. Just like that. There's no play, there's no having to move it around. It just fits perfect. And that's the beauty of this thing. We have our engines. Again, you want to have the actual rod on the upper side as per the instructions, and it's got to go like this, and we'll see how it lines up. There's actually some kind of a slot. It looks like we've got a little circle here. There's a little circle right there, and there's this little circle right here. And that's how we're going to get lined up. If you try and line up the bottom one, it won't line up at all. So that's it. That's how it goes in. So, more glue. Glue on that. Done. Alright. So, that being said, just double check, make sure there's nothing else I'm supposed to put on the inside. And nope, nothing. So perfect. I'm going to get some tape ready because I know I'm going to need it. Three pieces should be good. Glue on there. Glue on there. Glue on that guy. Glue on there, and glue on there. Everything lined up. There we go. Okay, starting from the front, I'm going to get a longer piece. To hold that. Let's go across here. It pretty much holds together all on its own without me having to use any tape, but the tape is just for added measure. Okay. Center spine is pretty good. It's just a matter of making sure it's lined up. And level. There's really, I cannot complain about this at all, the way this is going together. I mean, looking at the bottom here, it looks like we got a little bit of a misalignment, but it's really nothing because it gets covered by all kinds of stuff, right? This is perfectly aligned here. So what the deal is with this, I don't know why this is up a little higher. It stands a little tall when the top is not. This top is perfect. So is there something I can actually do about that? I don't think so. Everything's lined up in here like it should be. I can try and do this a little bit. doesn't really do anything. I'm putting a little bit of downward pressure with my finger and upward with my thumb, right? I'm going this way with my thumb and down with that. So I'll just hold it here for a sec. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. It's holding tight, and that's fantastic. So the next thing is the top that goes across. That's N22. Okay, so if I go back to our entry, that's N22 right here. It's only held at one end. Okay, there we go. Then this goes in a particular order. It doesn't, you want to have the parts, like if I do this piece here, that's got to be at the front, okay, on this side. Also, you have this little notch sticking out. If I go like that here, this notch here, that sticks out. That's got to go towards the front. So looks like these little guide pins at the back here are going to go in right there and there. And it just sits just like that. Absolutely perfect. Again, perfect. Now there's no hole underneath here, so I can't glue through it. So I could either slather some glue on there and hope that it sticks, or I can just use the thin set. I'm going to opt to use the thin set. Again, the fit is so beautiful. Like, Tamiya really went out of their way when they built this kit. Someone at Tamiya really had a love for this plane and just did a fantastic job at the fit of all these parts. Well, yeah, my glue really went out a little crazy there. That's okay though, because I haven't even primered this thing yet. Okay, so next is the wings, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of holes in the wings. But let's switch back to our Academy kit. Okay, so now that we have this all set, put together, we're going to let this sit, and we're going to let all the glue cure nicely and everything. I have to love the fit of the cockpit. There's nothing binding. I didn't have to press hard on any of it. It's really, really impressive, just the way everything fit together. But we're going to hold off on now. The next step in the Tamiya kit would be to drill a bunch of holes in the wings for all the ordnance that's going to be put underneath. But we're going to hold off on this, and we're going to go back to our Academy kit and go back to working on getting that landing gear put in on there. Okay. So while we let that dry all nicely. So remember last time I was building our little boxes for the landing gear, right? And that's going to go in like this, and this one's going to go like this, like that, and that's how they're going to sit. But we have the actual gear to put in there. So off of our C tree, I'm going to grab my Academy kit now. Let's do a little swap here. So, off of our C tree, we need C10. It's going to be this guy. very tiny little piece. I didn't want to accidentally cut it off at the wrong spot. Okay, C10 right there. Now we need our F tree. We need F-30 and 44. So let's find that. This is, what tree is this one? F. Alright. So our F tree, 30 and 44. There's 44. Looks like some delicate mechanism. Okay. And we need 30. 29, 30. All right. That side. So this, we want number 30 oriented like this. 30 is supposed to go in there. And they show us in a photo how 30 is supposed to sit. There's a very tiny little pin right there. Sorry, let me get, I forgot to change my camera back. So this is number 30, and that goes there, also right there. And there's a little tiny pin that it's supposed to sit on, and it's just connected by that pin and nothing else. So put a little dab of glue on that pin, and then it just sits like that. And that's how they have it showing in the photo. It just kind of sits straight like that. And that's it. Just want to make sure I got it on there good. Okay. Now, it needs to go in the box. Now, which box is it? This box here. And get this going facing the right way. This is going to sit up in here. Looks like it doesn't fit. It doesn't really fit in there. It shows that this part with the angle is going to fit like in a slot. Maybe it goes like this, not right against the edge. It's a tight fit, that's for sure. There we go. That's how it fits. So the one piece slots in right there. It's cut on an angle to fit that angle, and then this just goes there. And that's it. Alright, let's glue that in. Make sure it's going to be straight up and down. There we go. Alright, so now we have this piece. So this guy has this little part here. This guy here is supposed to go into the middle of that wall, come down, and attach. So if that's facing the wall, and it's supposed to go in the middle, and then attach like that, but it needs to line up. There's my tweezers. Tweezers help. It's either not long enough, or this is supposed to be at a big angle, because by the picture these holes are supposed to line up on those pegs, and that ain't gonna happen unless I somehow put this up like this, but now it's too far up. Basically needs to be halfway. But it ain't gonna stay at halfway. So, some detail I'm missing. I don't think so. There's no way that this should be at an angle. That's supposed to be straight. So I'm not sure. In the photograph reference, they actually have this little piece sticking out. Like the bar goes up in and it's sticking out. And unfortunately, it is a black and white photograph, so it's hard to see. And this one literally is just a flipped around version of it. If we look at the other side, this picture here, you can see where those two holes are supposed to line up to those pegs. So why doesn't it fit? Why doesn't it line up? Have I got the landing gear too deep? I suppose that's a possibility. If I pull the landing gear out some, that's basically where it would have to be. Now it's sitting out of its pocket, so that ain't no good. That is not the solution. Let's get that back in its hole. So, because of that little dilemma, they don't even really line up. So, this is what I'm going to do. not a perfect solution, but really, how much are you going to see? Still way too much. So I thought I could get away with having a little sliver of that and a little notch on there, but I can't. So off you go. Okay. Make sure it's all at 90 degrees again. Some thin. There we go. All right. So that one's in. That was a lot of nothing for a little bit. So let's grab this one. It's going to be this piece here. And this one here. All right. So 2 pieces. I have a feeling I'm going to have to cut that piece off again. Simply just based on the fact that, well, it didn't fit. So, we've got this facing this direction, and this has to face this direction. I got a little nub I gotta cut off here. So again, it's going to slide in into that little notch. This one fits a little bit looser. It still fits really good. Okay. Okay, so we'll try this piece and see how it fits. See if we have the same problem. And I do. Exact same problem. It's no different than the other side. So, again, I'll be cutting this off. I don't like to have to do that, but just the way it is. Okay. Alright, so that's those. Alright, we've got landing gear attached. About as straight up and down as I can get them. So now with that done, we'll flip the page over. Not like that, we're not going to skip a page, we've got to do this. So now, we're on the wing again, and we already did put these in, right? Remember that last time. And so now we can put these in. And so this one's going to go over on this side. We'll put that through. And hopefully everything fits. Whoops. Kind of have to slide it over. Get it to a spot where it feels like that's the most flush. The fit on this is not the best, right? It's kind of a weird angled thing that isn't the best fit. You get it to a certain spot and it kind of sits in there and it kind of doesn't. So I think what I'm going to have to do is glue it down bit by bit to get it to mold in, to fit, because it's kind of messed up. You see that? I don't know if you can see the gap here. I'm going to try and get it on my shirt. See that gap? That gap right there? Right there. There's a gap there. That's not lined up. If I can press it down and it lines up, but it doesn't really want to. It's the kind of thing where you want to have CA glue or something, some nice fast acting glue. But I'm just going to do this and let that set like that. And then once that glue is cured, I'll press it down on the other side. Okay, so let's see. Slide this one in like that. You see, this side actually sits much better. So why it doesn't line up like that, I don't know. This side sits down much more flush. Much more flush. But again, it's not perfect, and so I'm just going to do one edge. I'll have to do one edge. This one I can do two edges. And then I'm just going to set this down and let it sit, let that glue cure. So it, looking at my landing gear, this one needs some serious adjustment. This one is good, so yeah, this one needed some serious adjustment. So I'm just going to sit this down on a can of paint and let that dry like that. Let's grab a can of paint here. And so I'll just let that sit like this and let that dry. I'll leave that for like a good hour. Okay, before I try to put the wings on. In the meantime, let's have a look at the engines here. Step number 4, we're going to assemble our two little engine halves, but we need 07 to be painted silver and our tunnels to be white. Now the tunnels are already white in the kit because it's on the white sprue. But let's take a look. Let's find our 07s. I want to find our O tree. So we got these. That's perfect. That's fine. Where's the O? Here we go. Our O tree happens to be black, and we need the 7s. Okay, so and they need to be silver. So I'm going to do this, and this, 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 and then this. And then off of the F tree, I need F2 and 3, 1 and 3, 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of these. Okay, but before I grab those, I'm going to paint these silver. Doink. Hit those with a shot of silver. Again, I just like to use the TS30 silver leaf. It's a nice silver, does the job. Now they're silver. So while the silver paint is drying, let's get these off of here. And we'll get them put together. This white styrene that they've made almost feels a little bit softer. Like when I'm cutting it with the nippers, it feels very soft when I'm trying to cut. Okay, so 2 halves need to go together. Let's see if we can line them up. And how well do they fit? I got nubs to clean up here. Not gonna fit with nubs sticking out. I think I just took a nub off that I wasn't supposed to. I don't know. I couldn't have. You couldn't have, eh? Nope. Couldn't have happened. See, there's that sticking out there, but I think, yeah, that's just nubs. Nubs, nubs, nubs. removal done. Let's see what we're looking at. Pretty good. So, throw some glue on it. Only thing to make sure is that it's lined up around there, so that's a proper circle. Because you can get it out of alignment pretty easy. Give this one the same treatment. Just make sure that's lined up. There we go. Stick together very well, so let's give her a little more glue here. Not really going to see this anyway, but just to make sure, you know. Alright, so these should be dry now, and they are. Whoops. Make sure this is going to fit. What I like to do with these kinds of things, even though you're not really going to see them, I still like to, you know, when they call for silver, but I like to do the panel liner on them just to give them a little bit of character. Just to do that kind of thing. Just to give them a little something, you know? I don't go too crazy with it, but just a little something. Give it a little something, you know? There. Now they got some character. They're not just plain silver. Just get rid of some of the excess on there before it fully dries. There. Now they look like some fan blades that got some character to them. And then they gotta go in here. And they fit nicely. It's a nice fit. No complaints at all about that. Right. And as I said, you're not really going to see them very much, once it's in the plane, that's going to be pretty dark, right? So that's those done. Next is going to be, if we just shift over here, we've got our cones that we've got to assemble for this and put them in there. But we're going to hold off on that, okay? Why am I going to hold off on that? Because I got to get going. And that's going to be it for today. I have to let this sit. I'm going to let this, I'm not even going to touch this for like a good hour. I'll let that glue cure, then I'll press that down, put some more glue, and all that good stuff. And also put more glue around this edge and get those glued in nice and solid so that I can put the top halves of the wings on. But that's going to be next time, because I am done for today, and that's going to be it. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for visiting me and watching me do my little things. And thank you for the support on YouTube. And thank you for all the likes and the subscriptions. Hit those buttons. You guys know the drill. Yeah, check me out on my Instagram too. You can see all the still pictures of the stuff I've done in the past. And yeah, all that fun stuff. Anyway, I want to thank you guys again, and we'll see you all in the next one.